What's happening, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Dr. Martin and we are back once again with another video. And if you're new to this specific channel, please do me a favor, do like this video, subscribe to that channel, drop a comment at the end of the video. Let us know what you thought about today's topic. So on today's topic, I come to you with guides on how to choose a Forex broker. So I do think that this is an important topic even as we are starting the year. And I do know that even on my previous videos that I did take out this year, I was talking about planning and how you can obviously look into the year, have a proper plan put in place to make sure that you obviously do reach your goals and full potential. And I do think that even as we're starting the year, the most important thing is to obviously go with the right kind of broker. And I do come to you today with sets and guidelines of how to select a Forex broker. And again, this is my opinion. I am not by any means any financial advisor. I am obviously giving you my own opinion based on my own experience. So let's get right to it. So I've got like a couple of guidelines on how to choose a good Forex broker. There's over thousands and thousands of brokers around the world, but it's always a stress on which broker to actually go with. A lot of people struggle with choosing the right broker mainly because they don't have the right kind of information, and you'd find that even their progress and success in the game is obviously halted and hindered by the choice of broker that they obviously choose to go with. So I've got a couple of pointers that I'm going to talk about, and the first one is obviously the first thing to consider would be the regulation, the safety of your funds. So it's the regulation of the broker and the safety of your funds, and obviously the legal issues surrounding the choice of the broker that you're going with. So obviously regulation of the broker will determine the safety of your funds, which will then bind them to make sure that they abide by the legal issues surrounding their business. So it's important to find a broker that's regulatory compliant. So you need to make sure that that broker is obviously regulated with the FSCA if you are in the South African region, and CFTC if you are in the United States, and the NFA if you are obviously in the other countries of the world. So you need to make sure that all these things are obviously like stuff that you consider when you are choosing a broker, because this will then ensure the safety of your funds. So now regulated brokers must comply with a set of rules that are meant to safeguard investor assets. So if the broker is regulated, they are obviously obligated to comply with the set of rules that will obviously safeguard the investor's assets in the broker. So you do need to make sure that the broker is regulated, because that then can obviously give you some kind of assurance that your money will be safe and that you can obviously start making money. And even as you make money, you will get the money that you are obviously making on that broker. And the second point that I want to talk to you about is the broker types. So you need to understand that there's dealing desk brokers and there's ECN brokers. So these kind of brokers will also determine whether you do end up being profitable or not. And I'll obviously explain what I mean by that. So a dealing desk broker would be a broker that's a dealing desk broker works similarly to the dealing desk provided by various financial institutions and banks. A Forex broker that uses a dealing desk is registered as a retail foreign exchange dealer. This is a broker that we're trading with, and futures commission merchant, and the no dealing desk system, on the other hand, offsets positions automatically and then transmits them to interbank markets. Brokers working through a dealing desk system do not work directly with the market liquidity providers. Therefore, only one liquidity provider remains in the equation, and that gives birth to a fundamental conflict of interest. So if it's a dealing desk broker, obviously you do know that you're not trading mainly with the liquidity of the market, but you're dealing with the broker itself. So if you do make money, you make money from the broker's pocket. If you do lose money, you lose money from the broker's pocket. So it's important to consider these things as you are trading. And then an ECN broker, on the other hand, offers the traders direct access to the other market participants through an electronic communications network. So the word ECN means the electronics communications network. So they give us access to the market's liquidity through that ECN. So if it's an ECN broker, it mainly becomes the middleman that puts you through the real markets, and you're able to trade with the real markets even as you are trading under them. So they only obviously get their commissions through spreads and swaps and all of that, which we're going to dive into a bit later. So these things determine whether you will be a profitable trader or not, because sometimes you find that you are in the right kind of trade, and the broker then manipulates your trades to take you out before it goes towards the right direction. And those are things to obviously consider even as you are trading. And the next point would be the fees and the commissions of a broker. So you need to understand that the broker has its brokerage fees, and price isn't everything. You know, brokerage fees are fees that the broker charges for the services it offers, which are services focused on facilitating transactions between buyers and sellers. So they do charge those fees. You know, the amount of these fees depends on the broker type and the type of services to which the trader signs up. For the purposes of the retail traders, the situation is best summarized by saying that dealing desk brokers charge spreads only, while ECN charges spread as well as commission. So that's the difference now that makes you able to see the difference between the two. So obviously they charge spread and commission if it's an ECN broker. If it's a dealing desk broker, it charges spread only. So now commissions and spread, they can be fixed and non-fixed. So you'd find that sometimes they'll say our spreads are fixed, so we don't increase or decrease our spreads depending on whatever. Some brokers do increase spreads, you know, if it's obviously like certain moves. You'd find that like they kick you out with just an increment of spread, and then you find that you end up losing on that account and you were still on the right kind of trade. So those are the things that you need to consider as well, even as you are obviously trading. So you know, the spreads can be fixed and they can be non-fixed, and that's something to consider. And then you look at premium services offered by the broker. The broker has to give you premium services. You need to make sure that you do go with the broker that offers you premium services and is always there to obviously help you with whatever questions you do have regarding your funds. So it's important to also like kind of note that as you are going for the broker. And then you need to understand that does the broker, you know, credit or debit daily rollover. So these are like, you know, things that you need to consider as well, even as you are, you know, trading. So you'd find that like if the time changes like at 12 midnight, the broker will then credit you for trading beyond that time, beyond that 12 o'clock time, and then they'll end up crediting you for that, and they'll end up charging you crazy amounts for holding trades through the night. So you need to like consider those things even as you do obviously go for a broker. And then another thing is the trading terms. So you need to read through the trading terms as you are obviously trading. So before you select a broker, those trading terms are obviously quite important, especially if you obviously start making like serious figures. Sometimes they do use the trading terms and the blueprints on the rules and regulations to obviously make you you know, put you at a losing position or like at a losing place. So you need to like obviously understand those things even as you do look at that. So you look at the margin of the broker. You look at how much margin do they give you to trade. So the bigger the margin, the more chances you do have to lose. So if you've got a broker that gives you like unlimited margin to trade with, you can imagine you cannot open unlimited trades on a small account, which then means that your funds are obviously a bit more exposed. If you've got like, you know, more margin to trade with a small account, obviously the broker is trading against you. They want you to overuse the margin that they give you so that you can lose. And then you look at the initial deposit. I don't think this is a factor even, because you shouldn't really deposit minimum funds if you want to trade. Like, don't deposit like 50 rands to trade, like 20 rands to trade. I mean, what are you doing with 20 rands? What are you doing with 50 rands? These are like small amounts. So I think if you've got a broker that obviously offers like a minimum of $100, then we're being serious. Then we're talking business, because you want to make money. So that's another thing that you want to look at. And then bonuses and promotions. The more a broker gives you bonuses and promotions, that's also like kind of a good deal, because then the broker considers you as a client, and they are not only looking at themselves to profit, but they are also looking at you to make sure that you obviously do profit even from that. So you do obviously look at those, whether the broker gives you like good deals on promotions and stuff. So those are things to consider. And then you look at the customer service. They need to always be there. You look at their availability. They must always be available. You look at the trading platforms. Are they smooth trading platforms? You look at the ease of deposits and withdrawals. Is it easy for you to get your money? As easy as it is to deposit it. Those are things to consider as well. And then you look at the minimum balances, you know, what minimum balance can you use to trade? And then you look at the tradable instruments on that particular broker. And these are the set of tools that you can use to then start deciding on what broker to go for. And then you do have obviously now a choice and a position, or rather like a responsibility to now compare the brokers. And you're lucky that you're watching this video, because I have been able to compare a couple of brokers around. But on today's video, I do want to obviously recommend that you go to check out XM Global, and they have obviously came up with a couple more ticks on the stuff that I spoke about, and I did end up deciding to trade with them. So if you do want to check them out, check the link on my description, and obviously do sign up with them. And once again, this is Dr. Martin. See you on the next video, and we're signing out. Peace out.